there we go. Here we go. Fire in the hole. What's going on with Facebook? Oh, ha. Woo! As Ric Flair would say, right? Woo! All right, folks. We are live here. Let me see if people can see that. What do I got to do with that? Make that live. All right, we'll put it right there. We are now, well, let's see, episode 76. Wow. Elk Talk Live, episode 76. Yeah. We decided to do Tuesday night because here's why. I messed up yesterday. We were going to do it yesterday, and I forgot to notify the folks at Bowtech that we were going to do this. And Kyler and I show up here, and he gets everything all ready. And I'm like, uh-oh. I forgot to tell Bowtech to turn on the lights. In other words, they have to turn everything on live stream. So, sorry about that. So we get it on a Tuesday night. But we're just that much closer to everything we put on the whiteboard here. I don't think Kyler's going to give a shot of it, but he and I shot a video yesterday about all the remaining options that are available if you want to go elk hunting this year and by some reason you did not draw your limited entry elk tag. Because 2019 at this office is called the Year of the Elk. And we want you to go elk hunting also. Not just this year, but every year. So if you haven't drawn your tag, we're going to go over what your options are. I'm going to read them right off that board over here. I got 5 options written on that board. And the number 1 option right now would be Idaho. It's first come, first serve. If you already bought your Idaho non-resident license to apply in one of the draws, all you got to do is go buy the $400 and some elk tag for one of the zones that still has tags. You're going elk hunting. So, and then Idaho also has a second draw for all their controlled permits sometime in around August 10th, something like that. So be paying attention in early August and you might get in on that draw. So we'll go over some of the other ones here as we go through everything today. But I want to make sure everyone knows who makes this possible. Right here, Bowtech, Leupold, Onyx Maps, Go Hunt, Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls, Tight Spot Quivers, Ripcord Arrow Rests, and Black Gold Sights. And if you want to be on the notification list, text Randy, R-A-N-D-Y, to 64600, and you'll get notified. And then throughout the evening, Kyler's going to be posting links to this contest, the 30-day free trial at Go Hunt, and Bowtech is sponsoring their Win a Hunt. Every year they do a hunt where you win, you apply in a sweepstakes, and somebody could win. So now that we got all that out of the way, let's see. Yeah, Aaron says, hey, Colorado has a bunch of tags too. Yeah, Colorado's number 2 on my list over here. And they have over-the-counter tags in a lot of units. Mostly units in the west half of the state. And by over-the-counter, there's no cap. There's no, sell them out. It's anyone who wants one can get one. And it's some for archery. And most of it is used for the second rifle season and the third rifle season. The second rifle season in Colorado is usually in late October, and the third rifle season is usually in early November. So you have those options to go elk hunting this year. 23 million acres of public land in Colorado, the largest elk herd in the country. Might want to think about that one. And then there's Oregon, and Oregon has over-the-counter tags. A lot of people, when they do the over-the-counter thing in Oregon, it seems like they go and hunt Roosevelt elk over west of I-5. And the reason I'm getting to know a little more about Oregon is I think I'm going to be out there next year hunting Roosevelt elk. I hope. I'm doing my research. I think that's an option. Number 4 is Montana. And when non-residents apply in Montana in March, and then comes April, they find out if they drew. Over the course of the summer, people are returning their non-resident elk tags because schedule changes or just drew a tag somewhere else, whatever it might be. So in early August, I should know the date, but I can't recall for sure. It's usually around August 5th or 6th. That alternate list or returned list, whatever you want to call it, goes on sale. So check out Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Park. And those will be general elk tags in Montana that you can pick up sometime in August, but they usually go really fast. So you want to be paying attention. And then last, Utah has some over-the-counter hunts. A lot of them are for spike elk. A few are for for spike bulls. A few are for any bull. And most of them are archery, but it is an option in Utah if you already have your Utah hunting license because you applied there for some other purpose. It's an option. So, let's see. Where do we want to start? We already got all of these. Whew. Someone was going to say, no Idaho tags here. Move along, move along. I get news for you. I checked online. There's still quite a few Idaho tags available. So no one's going to be able to fake us out on that one. Let's see. Sorry to wake you up. Devin says that Idaho has some zones where there is no quota. I didn't know that. That's good to know. Joshua asked, 7 MMO8 or 6.5 Creedmoor for my 13-year-old to hunt blacktails. Either. Whatever. They're both going to be just fine. So Brian said, hey, I saw the teaser for your sheep conservation film. Looking forward to it. Yeah, this was about a bunch of just average folks in southern Nevada who, it's taken 2 years to do this film, 5 trips to Nevada. They go out and do water projects, conservation projects down by Las Vegas, the driest, well, if you've ever been there, you know how dry it is. Well, human development keeps grabbing all the surface water, so the sheep don't have much to live on, and their water had been disappearing. When I was living in Nevada, I graduated from college in 1989, there were less than 3,000 sheep in Nevada, wild sheep. Now, 30 years later, there's over 12,000 wild sheep. And this is a story about just average people who decided, you know what, let's go and do some work. Let's go build these water developments, these guzzlers they call them. And I hope it's a cool story. I hope you find it. Eddie, Matt, Art, there's so many of them. Chris, the list is a mile long of people that we could have focused on in that film. And they're all great people. So, let's see. Did our crew draw any B tags? Nope, we didn't apply for any. So, did I get an Idaho tag? Nope, I didn't. Imagine that. That's normally the case. What's the deal with somebody asking me nonstop? Every other question is if I'm eating any cactus lately. I don't know why some people feel like they gotta keep saying the same thing all the time. Someone said that they were just doing a workout and they heard my podcast about getting thrown in jail in Mexico. That's not good. Hey, is our spotting scope back there, Kyler? Someone's asking what size spotting scope we use. It depends. So I don't know if we have our little 60 millimeter around here, our old style gold ring, but we got our ooh, look at this. I tell you what, Kyler needs a raise. So here you go. This is the 60 millimeter gold ring, and you can see how compact it is, and it's lighter. This is the Santium SX5 80 millimeter. So what you have here is a much bigger objective lens. All right. So you're going to see a big difference there between, and naturally when you have this much glass, you're going to have more weight. So when you ask which one do we use, when weight is an absolute priority, we use the lightweight 60 millimeter. When weight's not as big of a priority, we're using the 80 millimeter. And then we have both an angled like this one. We also have the straight tube one also. And then the camera guys, they've got their phone scope adapters and everything hanging off this one. So that's what we use. Hopefully that helps. I guess the answer is it depends. Let's see. How do I make sure my name is in the drawing for the Bowtech hunt? Well, let me tell you what that is. All you got to do is go to winawhitetailhunt.com. How big? That's pretty long, huh? winawhitetailhunt.com/Newberg. And that's how you know you'll be in there. Or you can text Newberg, N-E-W-B-E-R-G, to 64600. And then you know you're in the contest to win a whitetail hunt at the Grigsby Farm in Illinois. But so, all right. A lot of people ask me for units and locations of where we hunt. We just don't give those out. I don't know what else to tell people. Part of what we try to do is we want people to know the tools and how you can go and do your own hunts and plan your own hunts and scout your own hunts. If we just say, oh, it's this unit in this drainage up this Forest Service road, you're not really learning a lot in that process. And out of fairness to the other people who hunt there and apply there, we don't want to put a lot of pressure there. If people can figure it out themselves, that's great. But we're not getting, we'll use general terms like, okay, we're in central Wyoming, or we're in southeast Montana, or we're in southwest Montana, or we're in eastern Nevada. We'll do stuff like that, but that's about as specific as we're going to get. Let's see. Ever use low light or night vision optics? No. In a lot of states, night vision optics are illegal for hunting. In Montana, I know they are. I just don't have any. So I wouldn't be able to comment on how they work. What was that? How hard is it to draw in Nevada? Depends on what you're trying to draw and what weapon you're going with. I usually draw Nevada deer because my fifth choice, Nevada, you get 5 choices. I always put in my fifth choice as some really easy archery tag. This year I drew, and then I look at the second draw, and there's a bunch of tags left over. It's like, oh well, that's how it goes. So Victor says, so do you find them where they are? Yes. You heard that podcast, didn't you, Victor? They're not where you find them where they are. If you want to know about that, go to the Hunt Talk Radio podcast and listen to Marcus and I argue about that. It's a serious argument, and I won because you find them where they are. They're not random out there where you just stumble across them. But go to that podcast. It'll tell you more. Let's see. So what is my opinion on lighted nocks? Pope and Young Club allows them now. I don't have an opinion, really. It's whatever each state wants to do and go from there. Let's see. When will we get more fresh track shows? I'm so tired of Amazon not approving these. I'm about ready to call Amazon. Not that anyone would take my call, but there should be a bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of them ready for approval right now. And we keep getting these little flags. Oh, no, you forgot this. Oh, no, you can't do that. So, hopefully, soon, like any day type soon. I think we've got 6 or 7 brand new episodes out there where once they're approved, everyone can go binge watching, hopefully. Hopefully they will. Let's see. Ron, I just want to randomly run into you one day. A lot of people randomly run into me. It seems like. Preference points worth it in Montana. If you would have asked me that a few years ago, I would have said no. But this year, a lot of people did not draw unless they had at least one preference point for the non-resident combination tag. So it's possibly worth it. When's the next podcast? I recorded one on Saturday down at the Elk Camp in Park City with Shane Mahoney. And then we're going to do another podcast about corner crossing, right? I have hired attorneys, paid their fees for their opinions about the legalities of corner crossing. And it's way more complicated than I ever thought, and it's way more complicated than I suspect most people think. So I suspect the next podcast is going to be about corner crossing. How's Michael's research going in Wyoming? We were supposed to film that today, and I get a call from Michael. Hey, boss, I'm still struggling here. Can we film that tomorrow? So we've already filmed one episode. He's got, I feel bad. He's putting so much pressure on himself, but that's all right. He needs a little pressure on himself. What was that? Do I think that Wyoming will ever up their general tag quotas ever? Tim asked that. I'm assuming he's talking about non-resident elk tags. So Wyoming has to issue 7,250 non-resident elk tags every year, bull elk tags. So if 1,000 of them get issued as limited entry draw, then the other 6,250 have to go as general tags. So the answer is, will they ever up it? Only if their legislature decides so. That's a legislatively set quota that the Game and Fish Commission and the Game and Fish Department has no say in that. So, all right. Holy cow, look at all the questions that are coming in. What is the max pack out weight you will carry? A lot less than it used to be. I've had some of those times in my life when I was younger where I'm like, 100 pounds, yeah. Your body pays for that. Now, I would say that I'm probably keeping them to a very heavy load for me is going to be 60 to 70 pounds. I'll make a second trip. You give me 50 pounds, I can walk all day long. Daylight to dark. And so if it's a super heavy load, I'm just going to make 2 trips. Just easier on the back, easier on the knees, easier on everything. So been recently watching last year's OnX e-scouting videos that you did, and it helps a lot. Thanks for doing it. Well, thanks for watching, Rat. I'm glad to hear that. So many people have reached out to us about those. A few people have said, Newberg, why are you giving the whole world all this information? It took us decades to know this stuff. Well, that Y right there. There's a Y on this whiteboard that says, our mission every day to promote self-guided public land hunting and create advocates for that cause. Part of doing that is providing information that help people become more successful, lower the hurdles, and hopefully they'll want to hunt more. So if some people want to complain I give away too much information, I don't know what to tell them. Let's see. What kind of food do you bring on your hunts? You wouldn't want to see what I bring. What does my day pack weigh? I would say when I'm rifle hunting with, let's say a November rifle hunt, because I usually bring a little bit more in clothes, it probably, with camera gear, kill kit, extra clothes, extra socks, my water, probably pushing 30-ish pounds, somewhere in there. 25 to 30 pounds would be my guess, is what my daily pack weighs. So some days I skimp and it's like, oh, I won't need all that, and I can trim it down a little bit. And then some days it's like, oh man, it's gonna be really cold and windy up there. I gotta bring an extra layer. So it might even be a little bit more. So, am I still using caribou game bags? Yep, I am. Definitely am doing that. Let's see, this is a good question. Leupold CDS system right here. And here's a VX3i with the CDS. That's the dial you spin on the top. Can I use one dial all the way from 4,000 feet to 11,000 feet? You can, but you need to understand if you set your dial for 4,000 feet, you're going to have a difference in your ballistic performance at 11,000 feet. So you need to know. You'll see a lot of guys, they call them their poop or their dope that they have on the stock right on the butt of their rifle. That's usually for people who are doing just what you said. All right, I've got my dial set for 4,000 feet, and all of my notches on there, all of my increments are at 4. Well, your bullet's going to perform different at 11, so you need to know what that is. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. I love taking the Onyx maps and spreading out the Forest Service and BLM maps with highlighters. I used to do that, but now that I have Onyx, I don't have to do that anymore. Should I buy a preference point in Wyoming for pronghorn? I did. So, I would suggest it. Chris McCotter, any advice for a desert bighorn sheep hunt? Congrats, Chris. Chris is a super engaged volunteer in so many things, and he drew a desert sheep tag in his home state, Arizona this year. I'm really happy for him. I'm glad you did, Chris. Now you just got to come here and tell the story after it's all over. Have I ever hunted the Jeffrey City, Wyoming area? Yes. Let's see. AZ Mike says, what's your team's practice? Stand and smoke with hunting gear on to kill human scent, or change clothes when in camp? Neither. We never go in unless the wind's in our favor. Now, I say that, and you will see sometimes where I get stupid or get in a hurry and I think, oh, around this corner, yeah, it's just a little 50-yard stretch where maybe the wind isn't good. I can sneak through there. And sometimes I get in a hurry, and when I try to do that, nope, I can't sneak through there. A bull elk is going to smell you every time. Every time. So it doesn't do any good to stand in the smoke or change your clothes. You cannot, if you're actively elk hunting, you're going to be perspiring, you're going to be everything. You got scent that comes out your nose, your mouth, your ears, your hair. There's nothing you can do to get rid of human scent, so you have to be disciplined about the wind. That's your only option. Oh, let me see. Someone is asking about a new Howa rifle. Is that a question we got there, Kyler, on Instagram? Here it is, folks. You're going to get the first look. This is the first time. This is rifle number 1 right here. That is it. Right there. A Howa Randy Newberg edition rifle. Comes with this HS Precision stock, fully Cerakoted, threaded barrel. Comes with a Leupold VX3i CDS system, mounted, bases, rings, dual dovetail, all kinds of things. Anyhow, do I like the old Hogue stocks, or do I? All right, if we could do a poll. You like the old rubberized Hogue stocks, or do you like this really cool over here HS Precision stock that has been, well, we used them last year, and we really, really, really like them. Oh, let's see. Someone says, hey, Randy, I live in Bozeman, and I want to get involved with the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation and Backcountry Hunters. Are there any events coming up I can volunteer for? Oh, yeah. This Friday and Saturday, the Elk Foundation is going to have a booth up at the Total Archery Challenge in Big Sky. So you could drive up there and meet a bunch of those people. The committee folks are going to be there. Let's see. Uh-oh, a lot of people all of a sudden are like, whoo, look at that rifle. When can you order the Howa Randy Newberg rifle? Pretty soon. I wish I could tell you more. So there's a whole wall of rifles over there that we tested last year, and there's a whole bunch of them more at home that we tested. And the idea of this is to come up with a solution that is really good on performance. And I believe that value is where price and performance intersect. So my goal was I want the value to be at the premium. Yeah, you can do $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 rifles, and every little bit gets you some little feature. Well, then you get these combination rifles where you may as well take the scope right on the combination rifle and just throw it away, right? $500 for a rifle scope combination. The optics are really just get rid of them. Well, we wanted something that you were going to buy once and never look back. So that's what we did here. And we're going to have a lot more details on it. There's going to be 4 calibers for right now. 300 Win Mag, 7mm Remington Mag, a 308, and a 6.5 Creedmoor. We may add into that a 7mm 08. Let's see. One and done, Scott. I'm with you. Buy once and be done. Yeah. What size rifle scope for Arizona elk? Kind of depends on what you want. All of my elk rifles have somewhere between a 40 to 50 millimeter objective lens, and are anywhere from 2 to 10 power to 3 to 18 power. All Leupold VX3i, VX5 HD, or VX6 HD. Do you know when that rifle line will be on the market nationwide? Soon. Like really soon. Sometime in August is what I've been told. Leupold rangefinders, the 1300 versus the 1600. I have a 1600. I have not used the 1300, so I can't tell you how they rate, but I love my 1600. Absolutely love it. Let's see. Are there any left-handed versions? No, Howa does not make left-handed versions. I'm sorry about that for all you lefties. I wish it was different, but would I drive any other truck besides a Titan? Well, I might, but since I bought 5 of them with my own money, like stroked a check to the dealership, I bought my first one in 2005. I never say no. I mean, I'm always looking for something better, but so far I haven't found, for what I do and the places I go, the stuff we tow, I've not found anything better. So, Chris Smith, so he brings up a really good question. Colorado Parks and Wildlife has looked at the whole new 5-year season setting process, and you should go out and see what it says. I believe they're taking commentary on it, even though they took preliminary comments and came up with their final proposals, and I think it's going to the commission to be approved sometime later this month. Personally, I don't like it. And the reason being is it shortens the number of days hunters can have in the field. And then when you move the deer seasons later, like the proposal shows, the deer are way more vulnerable than they are early in November, the game managers, to keep the herd stable, are going to have to crank down the number of tags. So shorter days in the field and probably fewer tags, for at least for deer, and shorter days in the field for elk. Personally, I don't like it. But anyone who hunts Colorado, I would suggest you go to the Colorado Parks and Wildlife website. Provide your comment if you haven't done so already. Let's see. Oh, some of you people are way too funny. If I answered all these questions, I would get in big trouble. All right, what size of cooler do you need to fit an antelope? All right, let me see if I can do this without destroying the set here. Move all my goodies. You see this cooler right here? This cooler is in a YouTube video where we fit an entire quartered up antelope in this 65 quart Orion cooler. It was this exact cooler. So there you have it. The 65 quart cooler will fit your quartered out antelope. And we even got the head and the hide in there. How about that, huh? The other thing, go to orioncoolers.com and use promo code Randy and you'll save 20%. Oh, let's see. How do you decide who gets first shots when multiple people have tags? In our platforms, the guest always gets first choice. But if there's a legal animal there, say we're out elk hunting, and I tell every guest this, you get first shot. But if you hem and haw and say, I don't think so, you might want to plug your ears, because just when you're done saying, I'm going to pass, you're going to hear boom, and I'm going to shoot that thing. I don't care if it's a raghorn or a really big one. That's how we do it. Guest gets first choice, but I'm not going to ask too many questions once you say, oh, I don't think so, or no, he's not what I'm looking for. Don't worry about it. You'll get a chance to look at him if you do pass, if I have a spare tag, because I'm shooting. What kind of rain gear do I use? I use Sitka Stormfront rain gear. Absolutely bomb-proof. I have used it in some of the worst conditions in Alaska, Southeast Alaska, and it's just perfect. When am I going to hunt Utah next? Probably next year when I do my antelope hunt. I'm going to burn all my pronghorn points there next year. When is Nissan releasing the Randy Newberg edition of the Nissan Titan? Probably not. If you can convince them to do that, there's a commission involved for you. Let's see. Can your rifle be shipped ready to go and drop ship to a predetermined elk location in my second season? I'll pay extra. I don't think they're going to do that, Scott. Oh, you guys are way too funny. Randy, why no Sitka promos with a Randy promo code? Because Sitka doesn't, they rely on their dealer network to sell their products. So there's not really an online type of situation. So, has a bear ever eaten the meat that you have hanging in game bags out in the field? No, it's not happened to us. We've spent a lot of time talking about how it is that we hang our meat when we're out in the field and things we do to take precautions. It could happen. I mean, someday you just never know. But so far, we've not had that problem. Darren says, I'm broke from all the items I've bought since I started watching you. Sorry, Darren. So here's going to be your chance to maybe not break the bank. So you see this right here, that Gerber logo? And that, you may not be able to see it, the glare, this RMEF logo. So RMEF has a special deal going on right now. Become a Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation member, And they will send you this $40 Gerber Vital knife right here. You got 3 replacement blades, the knife. This is the knife we use out in the field. Here you go, right here. They'll mail it to you. Be patient, it'll take them a week or so to get it to you. And it'll come in this little box right here. And Kyler's gonna put in the link there where you go, but you go to rmef.org/Gerber, and it'll take you right to the link. And then you'll have a knife, a $40 knife for a $35 membership. So you'll be less broke. All right. Let's see, what was that? So I just got my Mystery Ranch pack today. How do you carry camping gear and elk at the same time to prevent staining the camping gear? I put my camping gear in the bag, and then when I carry elk quarters in your Mystery Ranch pack, I don't think we have one here. We have one over in the other room, but they have a load sling. So if this is the frame and here's the bag that's normally against it, the bag will remove from the frame, and it's got this big sling here. So you drop your elk quarter down there, and then you cinch the bag up. Off you go, and all your camp gear is back here in the bag, not getting any blood on it from the elk. So there's some really cool videos out on the Mystery Ranch website about how that works. So, oh, someone's been listening to the podcast, obviously. Let's see. Someone asked, Randy, I drew a mule deer tag in Colorado and I'm buying an over-the-counter bull tag. How should my strategy be? Go hunt the deer primarily and keep your eye out for an elk. That's what I do when I have a limited entry tag. I spend most of my time focused on that deer tag. And often we've had the over-the-counter bull tags with us, and we've filled some. We've also had, well, yeah, so lesson to Randy. I drew a limited entry deer tag in an over-the-counter elk unit, and I did not buy the elk tag. And every day I could have killed an elk. It was so stupid. I'm like, what? How, Randy, come on. I mean, I could have killed a bull elk every day that I hunted those deer. So, what fall hunt am I most excited about this year? Yes, I think it's probably my Wyoming mule deer tag. It took me, let's see, 13 points. So this was my 14th year of applying that I finally drew a mule deer tag in Wyoming. So excited about that. Randy, what's the moisture going to do to the elk distribution this year? So it's been really, really wet. In fact, right now it is raining like crazy out there. It rained last night. It rained Sunday night. I've never seen it this green and this wet in mid-July in Montana. And I was just down in Utah, same thing there. Flying home, you look down into Idaho, same thing there. The entire Rocky Mountains are having a moisture year for the ages. So a lot of people ask, what's that going to do to the distribution of the elk? Well, I don't think it's going to change it that much in places that usually aren't real dry, like the northern Rockies. But you get to places like Utah, maybe western Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, places where when it's been dry, the elk have to concentrate more near water. Both the dryness concentrates the water in smaller spots, and the lush feed they're looking for is more scarce. Now you have water and moisture spread across this landscape. You're going to see a distribution of elk to a greater degree this year than I think ever. And then also, a lot of times what happens in the October seasons is the elk have the dryness forces the vegetation or causes the vegetation to start drying up. So elk will start moving down the transition range from their summer range to their winter range. They'll start moving down that transition range sooner. I think with the amount of feed that's going to be up high, with the just quality of feed, and it's going to stay fresh and greener longer. So I think elk are going to be higher this year than in most years, just because of how much feed is up high. And unless we get some super significant weather systems early in the season, I think you're going to want to really have your trekking poles and your hiking boots on to get up to where the elk are going to be on public land. So that's my thought on that. I could be completely wrong. Some scientist is probably going to weigh in and say, Newberg, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So what part of Wyoming are you guys hunting this year? Not just general area. Well, we're hunting a lot of Wyoming this year. Our buddy Bo Beatty, the llama guy, has an elk tag. Michael has an elk tag. I have an elk tag. Marcus has a cow tag. Uncle Larry has an elk tag, and I've got a deer tag. If there's a place to hunt in Wyoming, we're going to be within about 50 miles of it sometime during the year, for sure. Let's see. How far is too far? I found some great areas in southern Colorado, but they are 6 miles in. I'm in shape, but I've never attempted anything like that. I have 3 closer areas too. First rifle season. Whew. If you're going solo 6 miles, man, getting an elk out 6 miles in. I hear people say, oh yeah, I shot that elk 10 miles back. I got it out in a day. I call BS on that. I've packed elk out, me and another guy, 5 miles, and did these 5 mile round trips. And it is absolutely brutal. If I'm hunting solo and I could find elk that aren't 6 miles back and I'm doing it on foot and by backpack, I'd be checking those areas out and see if it was possible. What is my opinion on the reintroduction of wolves in Colorado? I think it's a bad idea. It's going to negatively impact so many things. And even if it ends up in the courts, once the wolves are on the ground, it's not like they say, oh, we're not going to breed because this is in court. The wolves just keep expanding and expanding. Additionally, you're going to have some consequences in the neighboring states of Arizona and New Mexico, where there they have this really small Mexican wolf that predates more on deer than it does elk. And a lot of the science says if those gray wolves in Colorado are that close, as transient and mobile as gray wolves are, they're going to end up mixing with these packs of Mexican gray wolves in Arizona and New Mexico. And they call it genetic swamping, where the larger animals are going to take over the breeding, and it's going to negatively impact a program that's been underway to protect an endangered species, i.e. the Mexican wolf. So there are just so many things that are going to be complicated there. I hope it doesn't pass, but when you have biology done at the ballot box and instead of by scientists, it's usually not a good outcome. Let's see. Hey, Mike Ninesinger joined. Mike, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for your service. Any more Falken hunts? Oh yeah, we got the crew coming up to Montana this year. There is no doubt we're going to be using the Falkens this year. We're going to go after pheasants and waterfowl. So I want to make sure, again, that everybody who watches this knows they can save some money, right? So I told you about the cooler, orioncoolers.com. Use promo code Randy and save 20%. Oh, I forgot Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls. Use promo code Randy out at Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls and save 15% off your purchase. When you check out, it's going to say promo code, put in Randy. And we were down at the Elk Summit or Elk Camp Mountain Festival this week in Park City, Utah. Thousands of people there. World Championship elk calling contest. My buddy Corey Jacobson, who I do the Elk Talk podcast with, he won the professional division. And the number of people standing up on that podium getting handed checks for winning and trophies that were using Rocky Mountain hunting calls was the majority of the people. So go to RockyMountainHuntingCalls.com, use promo code Randy and save 15%. And then we've got GoHunt.com, right? Insider. So you hear us talk about the Insider, how we use it to draw tags, research everything, do all the stuff we do. Well, right now, if you go to GoHunt.com/Randy, there's a 30-day free trial. So you'll get to see what this thing is, this Insider service that I've been talking about. And I think when you look at it, you're going to be like, whew, yeah, that's a pretty good deal. I think I got to sign up for that. And then Onyx Maps, go to onyxmaps.com, use promo code Randy and save 20% off all your app purchases. So there you go. Made it worth your time. You just made money by doing this. Well, I don't know that you made money, but you saved some money. Let's see. How are we doing out there on Instagram? Have I ever hunted whitetails in Colorado? No, I haven't. I've hunted mule deer quite a bit. Have I ever hunted antelope in South Dakota? No, I haven't. What call do I use? I don't have them in here. I use a bully bugle from Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls. And the Reaper is my favorite bull bugle call. And I'm trying to remember what the little blue and black one is that I use when I'm trying to be soft and do cow calls. I should know, but I don't. I think it's one of Christy Titus's calls. They have a series of calls with her. Let's see. The unit in Colorado I'm hunting is over the counter, 70% public land, but doesn't look like prime elk habitat, but still has good archery success rates. Would you still be confident in the unit even though it has high road densities, not much wilderness, and not a 10 of elevation over 10,000 feet? Hey, I'd rely on that harvest data. And you can get that harvest data on Go Hunt on their Insider. Or if you want to go dig through it on the Parks and Wildlife website from Colorado, you'll see it. But I pay a lot of attention to harvest data. There's really three things I look at in trends to determine what unit. And when you have that many over-the-counter units, I often get the question, which unit would you hunt of all these? Well, I look at bull-to-cow ratios, I look at cow-to-calf ratios, and I look at harvest rates. And if bull-to-cow ratios are staying stable and they're over 20, all right, that's a candidate. Cow-to-calf ratios, if they're over 30, that's about the minimum. I want something that's even higher if possible because that means the herd is growing. And then harvest rates, you'll see those are all over the map, and you got to dig into it a little bit to see how many of those were cows and how many were bulls, because a lot of times they get combined in determining that percent of harvest rate. You just got to look at it and see how it goes. So how about a promo code for Headwaters seat covers? I don't think my buddy Paul is going to let me have that. But call Headwaters seat covers out in Three Forks, Montana. Best seat covers I've ever encountered. In central Montana, with all the moisture this year, can you expect the bulls that are normally 300-inch score to end up around 330? If you read some of the supposed experts who research that stuff, the answer is yes, you can see up to a 10% increase in a very wet year versus a drought year. So I'm not the scientist who can give you that answer with 100% certainty. But people will say that yes, that makes a difference. Where can I find information on how to find the best elk food in New Mexico during September? I've got a bunch of surveys about that I've found, not surveys, studies. I would go in and I would Google elk forage, whatever national forest you're going to be on or BLM district you're going to be on. Some of the places I've hunted, I have found unbelievable information about every grass type that grows in that area. So Google's your friend. Look at the documents from University of New Mexico Game and Fish, New Mexico State University, the BLM, and the Forest Service. Those are all great resources, and there's a lot of it out there. I think when I did that last Google search, there was a bunch of links that came up, and I had to sort through to see which one was really relevant to what I was doing. Oh, let's see. Let's see. What leather boot waterproofing do I use and what method? We've done a whole bunch of videos about that. They're out on our YouTube channel. I don't use any oil-based items because when they penetrate into the leather, they can mess with the glues. If you have any glue or laminate within your boot, I use strictly a wax-based item. Those of you who follow our stuff, you know we use Kenna Tracks, and Kenna Tracks has a really, really good boot treatment. It's a blend of wax and I think a slight amount of pitch, if I remember right. Let's see. Boy, you guys want a lot of promo codes. So people are asking, Randy, what's with the Leupold box there? Well, if you were here earlier, you would realize that inside this Leupold box was a scope. And here's all kinds of stuff for mounting that scope. Here's the scope cover. Here's my CDS wrench. Here's the whole thing about the CDS system. Here's a thread for a 6.5 Creedmoor that goes on this Howa Randy Newberg series rifle. So this is what this box was. That scope was in this box. So when you buy this rifle combination, you get the scope, the mounts, the rifle, the custom stock, custom paint job, the whole Cerakoting, threaded barrel, all kinds of stuff. So that is what was in this box. And everybody who buys a combination or a package, which is the Randy Newberg Howa Signature Series that you'll be able to buy soon. This is rifle number 1. This is Uno right here. And number 2 and 3 are just right over there. And it was 2 years of experimenting and testing and goofing around with stuff and coming up with what I think is the best value for the person who wants to buy a quality rifle scope combination and be completely comfortable that they've got a rifle that's going to last them for generations. So that's what that was for. Let's see. How much? I don't know what the retail is going to be on that. I've told them where I would like it to be, but we added a lot of features, so I don't know. So someone's asking what scope is on here. It's the 3.5 to 10 VX3i. And I'm not sure if retailers are going to allow you to upgrade that scope if you wanted to go to the 4 to 12 or something like that. Probably would have to ask the retailer. I should know. I guess I could ask that question. I never even thought to ask it. Any chance of a Randy rifle giveaway? You'd have to ask Howa that. Let's see. Threaded barrel. You don't like muzzle brakes. You're right. But they said that they could put the threads on there for no additional cost. And a lot of people do like a threaded barrel. A lot of people have cans or suppressors, whatever you want to call them. And so I'm like, all right, you can do it at no cost. fine with me. So that's what ended up on there. Is there a 300 Win Magnum available? Yes, there is. What caliber am I going to use? A little bit of everything, I'm sure. Some of all. And then we got these things that we've been playing with, all these new Bowtech Realms. Some of you have asked what my bow setup looks like, so here you have it. Got the Realm. The one I'm shooting right now is an SR6. Here you'll see that it's got black gold Ascent sight, got a ripcord arrow rest, and these really quiet, tight spot quivers that almost act like a stabilizer to balance everything. So yeah, answer your question, that's my setup for this year, or close to it. My SR6 is at home. I don't let the crew mess with my real one. That's last year's bow, but it hasn't changed hardly at all. Let's see, best place to order the gun. I think there's one retailer that wants the exclusive on it, so until that's exactly finalized, I don't want to say. Sorry about that. If I buy a new rifle, do I get to hunt with you also? Man, you're asking for a lot for the price of a new rifle. Me to take you hunting. I don't know about that. Price, I'm not sure. Keep looking at it. That's going to be up to the retailers, you know. There's not a lot of margin in optics or rifles, so I'm sure they're going to keep it as low as they can, but I don't know what that price is going to be yet. What else we got, Kyler? Got any? Oh, look at that. All of a sudden, some more Instagram. What calibers are available in the rifle? 300 Win Mag. Soon, the 7mm Remington Mag, they're running those last. So those will be the last ones that are at the retailer. A 308 and a 6.5 Creedmoor. How many years can you expect from a pair of Kenna Tracks? Well, I got two pair. One pair I bought in 2006, one pair I bought in 2008. Yeah, I've been buying Kenna Tracks from long before when I ever started this TV show, or whatever you want to call these platforms anymore. And that's, well, 10, 12 years, but I think it's more about how many miles do you get off them than how many years you get out of them. We are very abusive on our boots. You think about 100 days a year we're out in the hills, terrible terrain, a lot of snow, a lot of moisture, heavy loads, and I'll get at least 2 to 3 years on mine before I even think about getting them resold. And even then, I just get them resold, and the boot itself lasts multiple soles. So, I wish there was a set number I could give you, but there's not. When does your next Q&A session with Corey Jacobson come out? It's being edited right now. We did 2 of them last week down in Park City. So whenever Joe, our editor, great guy, whenever he can get to him, we'll get him up there. Is it true that a Wyoming resident can take a non-resident into a wilderness area? Yes, you can. Go read the regulations about how you can do that. But a Wyoming resident can serve as your, I don't know what the term would be, assistant or accomplice, or has to be with you. There's pretty strict regulations about how it has to work. But yes, that is one way around the rule. Wyoming is the only state that I know of in designated wilderness areas. So not just any Forest Service land, not any just roadless wild country, but it has to be any land designated as wilderness area under the 1964 Wilderness Act. If you're hunting in Wyoming, you either must be with a guide and outfitter, or be a resident, or if you're a non-resident, you have to be accompanied by a resident or outfitter. So, Let's see. All right. Randy, the future of our sport is relying upon young hunters getting involved. In many states and provinces, by the time a kid can hunt, he or she is of an age where it may be too late. I'd really appreciate an episode or podcast about youth hunting opportunities. New Mexico is great and so is Arizona, but where else can we take kids hunting in the West? Wyoming has special non-resident rates for kids. Montana has a special one for kids. Idaho has a special mentored youth one for kids. Let me think. Nevada, for all their residents, they have the youth deer hunts. So pretty much every state is doing that. And related to that, there's a platform that we're helping. We're shooting. Kyler's been working his brains out. RJ, everyone here has been working really, really hard. The International Hunter Education Association is launching a new digital video platform on YouTube on August 5th. We've been producing the videos for them, and it's focused on new hunters. It's called Hunters Connect. That channel's not live yet, but if you go out to Instagram or go out to Facebook, you could subscribe to Hunters Connect, and you'd get a head start on what's going on out there. What else we got? Randy, if you weren't a hunter, what would you do? I don't know. I don't know. Not sure. That's a good question. I'd probably fish. My wife would tell me you got to fish more. So that would be all right. What else are we missing, Kyler? You got a really good final question. We've been going for an hour now. Remember, rmef.org, become an RMEF member. So go to rmef.org/Gerber and get a great knife for being a member. All the great companies that make this possible: Bowtech, Leupold, Onyx Maps, gohunt.com/Randy. Get your 30-day free trial. Use promo code Randy at Onyx and get 20% off the apps. Use promo code Randy at Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls and get 15% off. And then we got Tight Spot, Ripcord, Black Gold. What else we got? We had the contest, winawhitetailhunt.com/Newberg, and Bowtech will enter you in the contest for the Illinois whitetail hunt. What else? Where else? Andrea Larson says, it's never too late to get started in hunting. I was 26 and I harvested 4 to 6 animals on public land every year. Vote, donate, and advocate for this sport. I don't know if you want me to say this, Andrea, but if you follow Andrea on her social media platforms, you're going to see a woman who is serious about this stuff. I don't care if it's bear, if it's deer, if it's bighorn sheep. I think she might even have a U tag this year, if I remember from seeing on her social media. Yeah, she's right. It's never too late to start. Let's see. Any hunts with Jerry Pritchard this year? Yes. We drew rifle coos deer tags in Arizona this year. Yeah, we're going. All of you have seen me stumbling around down there, right? Trying to shoot one with my bow. And just when I get to full draw, I've yet to release an arrow in 3 years. Well, I told Jerry, I said, look, neither of us have very many points, but what do you say we apply for one of these late November coos deer tags? And we drew. So, we're going to get even with them. Somehow we're going to get even with them. Any archery hunts on our calendar this year? Oh, yeah. I got archery mule deer in Nevada. I got archery elk in Montana. So, I got that. Do I have a promo code for Ripcord arrow rests? I do not. Oh, nice shirt. Where did you buy it? Promo code? No promo code. This is called Armachillo shirt from Duluth Trading Company in Duluth, Minnesota. My mom lives in Duluth. I was back there for her 70th birthday, And we went down to the store, and here's the clearance rack in September, getting rid of all the summer shirts. I'll take 2 of those. So that's where I got it. How far from the truck do you usually start seeing elk sign? It depends. I've seen elk sign right in the parking lot. Boy, it depends on an awful lot of. There's a lot of a lot of variables related to that question. Randy, I want to take a disabled American veteran hunting and get them on an animal. How can I help accomplish this? I would get a hold of any of the veterans, some of these DAV type groups. They're always looking for volunteers to help them. And a lot of states now have sanctioned where you can, or passed laws where you can donate a tag to a disabled vet. So I would go Google that, and there's a whole bunch of them out there that you can do it with. Jeff, my cousin Jeff just joined. How you doing, Jeff? If you want to see a race car driver, Jeff Van Oudenhoven is your guy. He lives in Wisconsin. I like drive a bike. I barely ride a bike, and Jeff is going around the track 190 miles an hour. Wishes for Warriors, there's one of them. So you need to do a trip with the Born and Raised guys. They're great guys. Every time we see each other, it's a comedy act, and this person said that would be comedy gold. Yeah, they're fun guys. If you get to know them, they're really nice guys. All right, you need an outtakes episode. Are you guys accumulating that, Kyler? So here in the shop, they've said the same thing. We need to start a blooper episode. So whenever they see something funny, like I say or do something really stupid, they've got that over in a folder somewhere. What I'm worried is that someday I'm going to be out on the road, and there's going to be this blooper outtake episode that hits YouTube, and I'm not even going to know about it. So I kind of keep my ear to the wall, listening to what they're doing over there. Like, are they trying to get me in trouble? But that's the plan. Someday we will have that. Let's see. Someone asked, are you ever concerned about Africanized killer bees while you're hunting in Arizona? I accidentally swatted some thinking they were wasps and got stung and had to run to my truck. Whew. No, I've not. Boy, I wouldn't want that problem. No, don't want that problem at all. So fortunately, at this point, I've not encountered it. But anyhow, we've been an hour and 10 minutes. Let's see if there's any last question. Well, I'm going to wrap it up with this. Remember that you still can go elk hunting this year on the board here. And Kyler, when's that video going to go up? Next week? The one we just shot about all the remaining options?
Dan's working on it right now.
Okay.
Next week.
Okay, next week that video is going to go up about all the things you can do to still go elk hunting in 2019. Idaho, Colorado, Oregon, Montana, Utah. You should go elk hunting this year. And thanks for watching. We will see you sometime next week, Monday or Tuesday. We're not sure which. Depends on if I remember to notify everybody. Thank you.